If by good human being we mean abiding by the 10 Commandments, whether it's the 10 Commandments of the Bible, whether it's what we call the 10 Commandments of Hinduism or a yogic way of life, our yamas and niyamas of the 8 limbs of yoga, I think you could do that on your own. I think when we're talking about everything ranging from thou shalt not murder to thou shalt not commit adultery to truthfulness to non-stealing to all of this, you can do that on your own. That's just a matter of focus and attention, commitment, discipline, niyam, literally yam and niyam, do's and don'ts, our habits within ourselves, within the world. A guru is not someone who turns us into good human beings, although that's certainly a byproduct. If you find a guru and you weren't necessarily someone who identified as being such a good human being, if you didn't necessarily follow the commandments, certainly a guru will help you do that, but not because a guru is going to give you commandments and hold your hand to the fire of them, or somehow punish you if you break one. A guru literally is one who removes darkness and brings light. That is what the word guru means. The remover of darkness and therefore the bringer of light. That darkness is not a darkness of being a bad human being. It's not that the guru removes the darkness of badness and gives you the light of goodness. We think about ignorance and wisdom much more than good and bad in Sanatana Dharma. People who engage in what we would call bad behavior do so not because they are bad people, but because they're living in illusion. Because they identify as this physical body, as its experiences, as its desires, as what it does, as what happens to it. And when we do that, then we suffer. Because we are richer than some, poorer than some. We tend not to pay attention to those we're richer than. We only tend to pay attention to those we're poorer than. We are more successful than some, but again, we don't pay much attention to that. We pay attention to who we are less successful from. We're constantly comparing, constantly wanting more that we don't have, constantly feeling that we don't have enough when we identify as this body. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. I'm not pretty enough, handsome enough, rich enough, successful enough, beautiful enough, funny enough, popular enough, smart enough. We're constantly seeing where we fall short. So we suffer. And then we bring suffering to others. Whether it's because we become angry and violent, whether it's because we then steal, whether it's because we simply exude so much misery and frustration that we are like walking bad vibration factories. But we bring that suffering then onto others. But that's due to ignorance. It's not that you are a bad person and you need to become a good person. You simply need to realize the truth, that you're not the body, that you are the soul, the spirit, that you are love, truth, consciousness, infinity, perfection. And when you realize that, then you stop constantly looking here and there at who's more beautiful than you are, or who's smarter than you are, or who's richer than you are, or who has a nicer shawl than you have and you want it, who has a nicer looking spouse than you have and you want it, this is constantly, right, how we move through the world. Why can't I have that or have this? That one's so lucky. So what the Guru does is the Guru shines the light of truth, with which we can see the truth of who we are. And when you can see who you are, then you stop suffering. And when you stop suffering, you stop bringing suffering on others. And so the life becomes one of goodness, of joy, of peace, of love, of light. Not because you have become good, or that you're following instructions better, or that you have more willpower or discipline, but because the very nature of how you understand the self has changed. Imagine, let's say you've decided that you are going on a diet and you're not going to eat any more laddus. And you're sitting at a table with friends and you're very hungry, okay? You skipped breakfast, you skipped lunch. You haven't had anything since maybe, let's say, an apple in the morning. Now it's dinner time. You're really hungry. They come around with a plate of laddus. You're starving. What do? You eat so many of them. Or if you don't, you are miserable inside, right? You're sweating inside. You want them so badly. And there's this war inside you. Gotta have the laddus. No laddus. Yes, laddus. No laddus. Right? And you're constantly fighting. Now imagine that you had a great breakfast. You had a great lunch. In fact, you even had a great late afternoon, early evening, very healthy snack. Now you're sitting with friends right after your beautiful snack, which followed your beautiful lunch, which followed your beautiful breakfast. Now they come around with a plate of laddus. Now you're not interested. Neither do you eat something that you've committed not to, nor do you have to have a war inside about not eating it. It's no longer a matter of willpower or discipline, or being good or bad. You're full. You literally are full. There is no sense within you of yearning for a laddu because you are full. And this is what the Guru does, is it's not about giving you better willpower or better discipline or helping you follow your, commitments to be good. It's about helping you see that truth of who you are in such a way that you're so full that those things we would consider bad, untruth, violence, murder, adultery, right? It depends which 10 commandments we're looking at. But whatever the list of commandments may be, none of them holds any pull for us. We're not looking to steal. We're not looking to be dishonest. We're not looking to hoard. We're not looking to be violent because we're full. And we're full of truth and love and awareness and consciousness, of light, of wisdom. That's what the Guru